This is absolutely wild, Steelers Nation. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but it's official. Tom Brady, the 7-time Super Bowl champion, the greatest quarterback of all time in a lot of people's eyes, is now a Pittsburgh Steeler in a historic $200 million blockbuster deal that just shook the entire NFL to its core. In this video, we're breaking down everything we know about this trade, how it happened, what it means for the Steelers, what it means for the entire league, and what it means for the future of the quarterback position in Pittsburgh. So stay locked in because this might be the biggest NFL trade story you will hear in your lifetime, and we're going to unpack every single angle of it right now. First of all, let's talk about the sheer shock factor. Tom Brady, the face of the New England Patriots dynasty, the guy who went down to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, the guy who retired, unretired, and then once again walked away from the game, is back. Not just back, but back in black and gold. Pittsburgh, a franchise rooted in defense, tough running, smash-mouth football, the Steel Curtain legacy, and now you're adding the most accomplished quarterback ever to that tradition. When this news first started trickling out, a lot of fans thought it was clickbait, a rumor, a troll post. People were saying, no way, this can't be real, Brady's done, he's in the broadcast booth, he's building businesses, he's done with football. But then the insiders started chiming in, the national reporters started dropping confirmations, and finally the Steelers themselves made it official. The trade is in, the money is historic. The contract number being thrown around, $200 million, is mind-blowing, and this instantly becomes one of the most jaw-dropping moves in NFL history. Let's rewind and talk about how we got here. For months, there have been whispers in certain circles that Tom Brady still had that itch. People close to him have hinted that retirement never fully sat right with him, that the competitive fire was still burning, that the idea of going out on a disappointing season wasn't the ending he envisioned. At the same time, the Steelers have been in this interesting transition phase. They've got a young core, a legendary head coach in Mike Tomlin who has never had a losing season, a defense that can absolutely wreck games with guys like TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward, and an offense that has pieces but has been missing that one steady elite presence at quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger retired. The talk around the Steelers has always been, they're a quarterback away. A quarterback away from taking that next step, from turning those scrappy playoff pushes into legitimate Super Bowl contention. And now apparently, the Pittsburgh front office decided to go absolutely all in and make the most aggressive move imaginable. They didn't go get just any veteran. They went and got the veteran. They went and got Tom Brady. So what did it take to pull this off? From what's been reported, this was not some quick overnight deal. This has been months in the making behind the scenes. Brady's camp, the Steelers front office, ownership, the NFL, everyone had to be on the same page with this comeback and trade. The number you've seen, $200 million, is tied to a massive contract structure that includes base salary, guaranteed money, bonuses, and a ton of performance and playoff incentives. Now, obviously, the simple cap math is going to require some creativity, void years, restructuring, shifting money around, and likely some tough roster decisions. But the Steelers clearly decided that when you have a chance to land Tom Brady, you make it happen and figure out the rest later. The compensation going the other way, the actual trade side of this, is reported to be a stunning package of multiple first-round picks, mid-round selections, and at least one key player. The exact details will keep trickling out, but early indications say the Steelers have mortgaged a big part of their future draft capital to win right now. This is a clear win-now signal to the entire league. They looked at that AFC loaded with Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, and they said, we need a quarterback who can stand toe-to-toe with those guys in January. We need the one guy who's never scared of the big moment. That guy is Tom Brady. Now let's imagine Brady in this offense. This is where it gets really fun. Picture it. Tom Brady under center in Pittsburgh, wearing that black and gold helmet, with a terrible towel waving all around him at Acrisure Stadium, that cold December wind whipping off the river, and he's out there orchestrating the offense like a surgeon. You've got Najee Harris in the backfield, a powerful runner who can catch the ball out of the backfield, perfect for Brady's quick pass rhythm game. You've got Jaylen Warren as a change of pace back, explosive, tough, who can also be a force in the screen game. Then you look at the receiving core, dynamic young receivers, route runners, speed threats, tight ends who can work the middle of the field. Brady has always thrived with reliable targets over the middle, quick reads, option routes, and a solid offensive line that gives him that 2.5 seconds he needs to carve up a defense. And Tomlin's staff, knowing what they have now, is absolutely going to build the scheme around what Brady does best: spread formations, quick decisions, maximizing mismatch opportunities, using motion to diagnose coverage, and making life easy on the line by getting the ball out incredibly fast. Think about the ripple effect this has on every single offensive player. For the receivers, your route discipline instantly has to level up. Brady is notorious for expecting guys to be exactly where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there at the exact depth they worked on in practice. You run the wrong route, you cut it short, you drift, you freelance too much, he will let you know. But the flip side is, if you gain his trust, if you show him that you can win your one-on-ones, if you can adjust to coverages the way he sees them, you might be looking at a career year. We've seen it with receivers in New England and Tampa Bay who went from good players to stars when they got on the same page with Brady. The offensive line, too, is going to feel the Brady effect. This guy is the master of pass protection calls. He's seen every blitz known to man. He uses his cadence, his alignments, his hot reads to make sure the ball is gone before the rush even gets home. That makes life so much easier on your tackles, your guards, and your center. Suddenly, Pittsburgh might look like one of the most efficient offenses in football simply because the quarterback is processing at an entirely different level. And defensively, think about what this does. The Steelers already have one of the most feared defenses in the league, a unit that can absolutely dominate a game. But for years now, they've often had to play perfect ball because the offense has been inconsistent. They'd hold teams to 17, 20 points and still feel the pressure. Now with Brady at quarterback, that defense knows that if they can just get a couple of stops and maybe a turnover or two, Brady is going to turn those chances into points. That complementary football element, the defense feeding off the offense and vice versa, could elevate Pittsburgh into that upper tier of true Super Bowl favorites. You've got TJ Watt rushing the passer, knowing that if he gets you the ball back one extra time, Brady will make you pay. You've got Minka back there, baiting quarterbacks into mistakes, knowing that anytime the ball changes hands, the GOAT is trotting back onto the field. That is a terrifying combination for the rest of the AFC. Now let's talk legacy, because this is where this trade becomes even more fascinating. Tom Brady already has 7 rings. He's already proved he can win without Bill Belichick by going to Tampa and getting another Lombardi. Many people feel like his place in history is already cemented, but this move adds another layer to his story. If Brady can come to Pittsburgh, a city with its own rich quarterback legacy featuring Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger, and lead this team to a deep playoff run or even another Super Bowl, we're talking about a legacy that might truly never be touched. It would mean Brady has successfully led 3 different franchises to the mountaintop, or at least to the brink. You just don't see that. Quarterbacks this late in their career rarely switch teams once, let alone twice, and certainly not with this kind of expectation and pressure. And yet, Brady thrives in exactly those situations. The narrative, the doubt, the critics, the age talk, all of it has forever fueled him. You can already hear the sports talk shows questioning, is this one move too far? Is he chasing something that can't be recaptured? And you know Brady hears that. You know he sees it. And it will absolutely motivate him. On the Steelers side, the legacy conversation is equally intriguing. The Rooney family has always valued stability, drafting and developing, building from within, and not making flashy, desperate moves. So when they decide to break that mold and pull off arguably the biggest trade in NFL history, that tells you they see a window right now with this roster and with Mike Tomlin to do something special. They look at this team and say, if we get elite quarterback play, we can hang banners again. Imagine the story if the Steelers, a franchise with 6 Super Bowl titles, tie or pass the Patriots in total rings with the same quarterback who delivered the bulk of New England's. The symbolism of that is wild. Brady, the face of the Patriots dynasty, helping the Steelers climb right back into that all-time conversation by adding another Lombardi trophy to Pittsburgh's trophy case. That's the stuff of NFL mythology. We've also got to address what this means for the quarterbacks already in that Pittsburgh room. When a team pulls off a move like this, everyone's future is instantly in question. Young quarterbacks who were being groomed as the future might now be looking at a different path, whether that's learning behind Brady for a season or two, or possibly being shipped out as part of the compensation package. This is the harsh reality of the NFL. When a chance to win now presents itself, The development timeline for young players can get thrown out the window. But if you're a young quarterback who does get to stay, spending a year or two soaking up knowledge from Tom Brady has to be one of the greatest opportunities imaginable. You're in the film room with him, on the practice field with him, learning how he sees defenses, how he demands accountability, how he prepares his body and his mind every week. That's a masterclass in quarterbacking you can't replicate. We may look back in 5 or 10 years and see another wave of successful quarterbacks who say, "I learned the craft from sharing a room with Tom Brady in Pittsburgh." Now let's step back and look at this from a league-wide perspective. You know the NFL schedule makers are already tearing up old drafts and rewriting matchups. Every national broadcast wanting a piece of Brady in that Steelers uniform. Primetime games at Acrisure, massive road environments where Brady walks into hostile territory in black and gold, facing off against the top quarterbacks in the AFC. Steelers versus Chiefs, Brady versus Mahomes again. Steelers versus Bengals, Brady versus Burrow. Steelers versus Ravens, Brady versus Lamar Jackson, in one of the most physical rivalries in the sport. Those games just became appointment television. The AFC playoff picture, too, has a new massive wrinkle. Everybody who thought they had the conference hierarchy figured out has to recalculate. If you were circling the Steelers as a maybe, a fringe playoff team, you now have to treat them as a legitimate contender. Coaching staffs around the league are going to spend extra hours breaking down Brady's tape, trying to figure out how he'll mesh with the Steelers' personnel, what tendencies might carry over from New England or Tampa, and what Tomlin and his staff might innovate. The arms race in the AFC just escalated, and this one move might force rival teams to become more aggressive in their own roster decisions. We should also talk about the pressure. Yes, the hype is crazy, the storylines are incredible, but the pressure on everyone involved is enormous. On Brady, there is pressure to prove that he can still play at an elite level. He's not coming back for a farewell tour or a nostalgia lap. You don't sign up for $200 million and join the Steelers just to be average. He's coming back to chase another ring. On Mike Tomlin, there's pressure to maximize this window. You don't get many chances to coach a quarterback of this caliber. Every play call, every in-game decision, every roster tweak will be under the microscope. On the front office, there's pressure because they've pushed a lot of their chips to the middle of the table. If this move doesn't lead to deep playoff runs, if it somehow backfires, there will be a lot of second guessing. And even on the rest of the roster, there's pressure to match Brady's intensity. He is known for holding people to extremely high standards. Practices will be more intense, film sessions will be more demanding, late game execution has to be sharper. This is the level you sign up for when the GOAT walks into your locker room. So, as we wrap this up, here's where we stand. Tom Brady is a Pittsburgh Steeler in a $200 million history-defining move that will reshape the NFL landscape for as long as he's under center in black and gold. The Steelers have signaled to the entire world that they are not interested in slow rebuilds or half measures. They want rings. They want banners. They want to bring Lombardi trophies back to Pittsburgh. And they just brought in the one quarterback in NFL history who has done that more than anyone else. The questions now are endless. How quickly will he build chemistry with his new teammates? What will the offense look like from day one? How will the rest of the AFC respond? And can this partnership between Tom Brady and the Pittsburgh Steelers end with both sides adding another epic chapter to their already legendary histories? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this the greatest trade in NFL history? Do you think Brady can still play at a championship level in Pittsburgh? Are the Steelers now your favorites in the AFC? Or are you still rolling with teams like the Chiefs, Bengals, or Ravens? Let me know if you love this move, hate this move, or are just stunned like the rest of us. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates, because you know there are going to be press conferences, practice clips, interviews, and a whole avalanche of news coming out of Pittsburgh in the days and weeks ahead. We'll be breaking down Brady's first comments as a Steeler, reactions from his new teammates, and what the early schedule looks like with the GOAT now in the Steel City. Thanks for watching and get ready, because the NFL just got a whole lot more interesting with Tom Brady in black and gold.